Okay, we are live. Hello, hello, hello.
Why am I wasn't even surprised.
What happened?
Sorry.
What did I miss? Was I not an awkward one?
Like, no, we in sync.
both
We
went-
were just like perfectly in sync. It was wild. Okay, sorry.
Y'all
Proceed.
are adorable. Hello, and welcome to the Midnight Society Book Club live show discussion. Today we submit for the approval of the Midnight Society the Unmothers by Leslie J. Anderson. This is the book we're going to be discussing today. And I think it's going to be interesting because we'll see how this works out. But I do want to introduce my co-hosts here if you're not familiar with them. We have Sydney from Sid Book Forum, as well as Jan from Jan Agaton. Am I saying that right, Jan Agaton?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm thinking I did not check beforehand. So yeah, why don't we go through? I'm going to ask y'all before we get into the book description and all of that to just tell us a little bit about yourselves, about your channels, whatnot. I usually like to know like what kind of books you read, like what's the vibe of your channel? Do you like to make vlogs? Do you like to make recommendation videos? And then like what's the last 5-star book that you read? Sid, do you want to start us out? Since you're up top?
Sure. I forgot the last question. I gotta think on the top of my head. I'm Sydney. Sid or Sid. Sid or Sydney. Don't care. I mostly read fantasy, is my favorite genre. I also will heavily dabble in like weird lit fic and psychological horror. I love a thriller. I do like romance. And I pretty much like the only thing is like historical fiction. If the historical fiction has a fantasy element, I'm more into it. But other than that, a little bit of everything, but fantasy is my main. I do a lot of like rec videos, a lot of reading vlogs. The reading vlogs predominantly are either like challenge vlogs or like themed vlogs. I don't do weekly vlogs. But other than that,
what was your last 5-star book? Like, what's your recent obsession?
Probably, I mean, realistically, probably The Way of Kings. I feel like that was the most noteworthy one that I read recently.
Is that Sanderson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I also read They Can't Kill Us Till They Kill Us by Hani Fedorukib and really liked it. Oh, I mean, and The Echo of Old Books. That was really good.
Who's that one by?
Barbara Davis.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have, interestingly, like when I started my channel, I read only fantasy, only YA fantasy.
Oh.
And I've never, like, I have read Mistborn. I've kind of like started to delve into like adult fantasy, but I never really fully got there. And then I started like moving over into thriller and horror. It's always been thriller too, but so I kind of feel like I have this like branch over to like the way you read, but not quite. Like we're all like different limbs on the tree.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Jan, why don't you tell us about yourself? What kind of books do you like to read? Let's start there.
Hi, I'm Jan from Jan Agaton. I mostly read horror, but I also read a little bit of everything except sci-fi pretty much. Yeah, weird lit fic in general, romance.
Okay.
Some fantasy, but my baby brain just like I can't do like high fantasy. I'm like YA, easy, yeah, magical realism type of fantasy. One day though, I strive to be like Sid with the epic stuff. But yeah, mostly horror. Yeah, some nonfiction.
What's your recent obsession or 5-star book that you've read?
See, those are two different things. Okay, so I have Goodreads up. My most recent 5-star this month was An Affinity for Formaldehyde by Chloe Spencer, which is a little horror novella.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know. It came out in January. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, but I read it in the beginning of the month. And it's about this girl who like goes back to her hometown, kind of. I think it was her hometown. I don't know, but she like hangs out with her childhood friend because he invited her to his wedding. His wedding is with her grandma,
Okay. And her grandma is like obsessed with taxidermy, and it goes from there.
Love
It's really
that.
short, so I'm not gonna go into it too much. And then, but my recent like potential top 10 of the year type of obsession is The Final Scene by Steph Nelson. That is a solid thriller.
Okay. Steph Nelson. She has a new book coming out too, right?
Does she?
I think so, because I just did my end of the year most anticipated, and I'm pretty sure she had a book on there. I think it's called
The Threshing Floor, is that what it is?
Yes, that is it. That is
It's already
it.
on my want to read. Ooh, it's culty.
Yes. I love a culty book.
Same.
I also like I do like sci-fi. So it's funny to me, Jan, that that's like your like cutoff point. You're like, no sci-fi.
Yeah, I think the only sci-fi book that I enjoyed was An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green.
Okay, I've not read that. But I recall vaguely what that's about. It's like stuff. Is that where like stuff falls out of the sky or something?
Robots like just start appearing out of nowhere. I think it's from the sky. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I read it like years.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So that's the extent. I hate things in space. I can't do it.
Okay, here's the thing though. I don't love like a space opera either, but I like sci-fi. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. That's like the sci-fi that I love.
What I like about sci-fi is either like futuristic, kind of like 5 minutes into the future stuff where it's like this could happen in our lifetime, or like time travel or multiverse discussions. I love talking about multiverse. And so like that stuff gets me.
I almost recommended a book, but that's kind of a spoiler. Yeah, time travel is like one of my icks. But like I can do the technology side of sci-fi sometimes, like Black Mirror type of stuff, but
I love Black Mirror stuff. Dystopian, all about that.
Dystopian is fine. But yeah, in terms of futuristic, I think, have you read The 1,000th Floor?
No, I don't think so.
What is like Gossip Girl, but like in the 3,000 years. Like, yeah, it's like in the future Gossip Girl. It's so good.
Wow. That sounds wild.
It's so good.
Tell me what's called again.
The 1,000th Floor by Catherine McGee.
The 1,000th Floor?
Yes, it's a trilogy.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up. All right, let's talk about the book.
Okay.
The Unmothers. I know, Jan, I know you didn't finish it. You DNF'd it, which is totally fine. So I'm gonna, just so everyone else watching knows, like if Jan wants to, at any point, she's welcome to go. Like if she doesn't want to be spoiled, if she doesn't want to,
stuck.
Yeah. Also, as far as like the ratings go, I'm not going to count hers towards our general average. And that said, I must admit that I made a boo-boo. And when I asked y'all to vote in my Instagram stories, I didn't look in time because I was working today. And so I don't know what the results were, and it disappeared. So I'm going to ask y'all to put your ratings in the comments.
You can look at the stories archive.
Can I do that? Shut
So
up. Okay, wait.
On your profile, you hit the 3 lines or whatever. Well, I don't know what it looks like on iPhone. So Sid.
Yeah, here, I got you. If you go to your profile, not that.
So are you an Android girl?
Yes, I am. A Jandroid, if you will.
Ew.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Go to your 3 lines, and then you'll go to archive under saved. And then you can go, it goes right to your stories archive, and then you'll be able to click on it and see what the results are.
But even if the story's already gone?
Yep. I think so, yeah. Also, I don't rate DNF, so that doesn't do anything.
I respect that because I agree. I don't rate DNFs either.
Me either.
Yeah.
I
made it 100.
I'm too old for this right now.
Too old?
So we're just gonna have y'all let us know in the chat and I'll figure that out later because I'm not catching on to what you're putting down, and it's on me. It's fine. It's human error. Sci-fi that plays with and space.
Time and space, maybe?
Is my thing. The dog in my pick is McFly. McFly? What do you mean it's McFly? McFly is from Oh, that's his name from Back to the Future. Love that. Okay, Back to the Future, iconic. Love it, 100%. The 1000th floor. Okay. Time and space. Yeah, gotcha. All right. So anyway, let us know in the comments if you read this, what you rated this out of 5 while we talk about it. And do either of you want to say what it's about, or would you prefer that I do that?
I don't care. It's up to you. I will if you don't want to, but you can if you want to.
Not I said the fly.
Go ahead, Sid. I want to hear your.
Okay, I'll do my best little rundown. We have our main character whose name is Marshall. It's at its core, this is a like small town mystery, like light horror book. I think horror is whatever, we'll get there. This is about Marshall. She recently lost her husband, and she's sort of been like not doing well at work. She's a reporter, a journalist. And her like boss sends her to this little podunk small town to cover this crazy story that is coming out of it, just sort of like to get her out of the office, try to get her back on her feet. And it's just this crazy claim that a healthy baby boy was born from a horse, and you know, a lot of accusations, weird things come from that sentence in general. And she gets thrown into this like small town drama, all of these different mysteries. You know, that's really like the core of it, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Stunning. Great. Love it.
Love it. All right, we got a 3. All right, I'm trying to keep track of the ratings in the comments.
Yeah.
I will say I was told not to expect horror, so I went in with different expectations. Okay, yeah, gotcha, cool. That makes sense. Only just started, haven't gotten to the pregnancy and birth stuff yet. I'll probably nope out too.
I mean, it's in the title. Okay, like I saw the title, I saw the cover. I'm like, the cover's cool, the title's not. And then I look at the synopsis and I see the horse human thing, and I was like, okay, I'm in. And then, yeah.
So, okay, where are we at here? We did intros, we did the book description. Okay, let's just generally talk about folk horror really quick, because I had to look this up. I was like, what? I don't even understand what folk horror is. And I think this is still me, even though I've been reading horror for a few years now, like I'm still trying to find my little like space and like which subgenres are right for me and all of that. And honestly, I think folk horror might be something that I really like. I'll tell you what I do like about it is that I have this, I have a weird thing when it comes to like supernatural versus like real life stuff. So like if in a thriller or a horror, the author is trying to make you feel like it could be supernatural, or it might be that this person is, you know, not all there, or we have an unreliable narrator, or, you know, whatever it is. Sometimes that really bothers me. But with the folklore stuff, I can kind of get into it because it's like not religion, but not supernatural. It's somewhere in between. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I can allow that in my like consciousness to be part of reality, but just a part of reality that maybe we're not aware of yet, or like something that's outside of our scope as human beings. And so for some reason, this just works for me. Okay, but all of that said, let me tell you what the internet says about folk horror. It says folk horror is a subgenre of horror that uses folklore to create a feeling of dread, menace, or unease. It often features themes of isolation, superstition, paganism, and the dark side of nature. Folk horror is often set in a rural setting and focuses on the actions and beliefs of people rather than the supernatural. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, that makes total sense to me. But then I spiraled into this whole thing about like, what even is folklore? So I looked that up. And folklore is the body of expressive, according to Wikipedia. So not for what it is. The body of expressive culture shared by a particular group of people, culture, or subculture. This includes oral traditions such as tales, myths, legends, proverbs, poems, jokes, and other oral traditions. It also includes material culture such as traditional building styles common to the group, and then customary lore, taking actions for folk beliefs, and the forms and rituals of celebrations such as Christmas, weddings, folk dances, initiation rites, things of that nature. So now with that all said, it kind of all comes together for me. Like, okay, I think this is the thing I like.
Have you read T. Kingfisher?
Yes. I've only read 1 or 2 of her books, but I really, really liked her. What's the one that comes to mind for you?
Well, she has the Twisted Ones and the Hollow Places.
I haven't read either of those.
No? Okay, the Twisted Ones I think is folk horror.
Okay.
Hollow Places is more cosmic horror, but I love both. I've read 8 of her books, and I love her. So which ones have you read? Have you read What Moves the Dead?
No, I have not.
I love that one. That one's my favorite one by her.
I read The Good House. Is it The Good House?
House with Good Bones.
Good Bones. Yeah.
House to Nana Reeve do.
I was like, yeah, totally.
House of Good Bones. That's it. And I really like that one. And I think that might be it, actually.
That one's good.
But that's awesome. Do you like cosmic horror too, Jan?
I thought I didn't. I mean, I don't think I do. But T. Kingfisher, I don't know. I don't know if I would have read it if it wasn't T. Kingfisher. So I don't really know. I haven't read anything by like H.P. Lovecraft or anything. So
I haven't either. I don't feel like Lovecraft would be my thing, like, because it's more like monster or cosmic. But I like cosmic where it's like I was just saying, like, I almost feel like folklore or like folk horror and cosmic kind of have a very similar, like they have a Venn diagram where they cross, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something about folklore could also be something in the world that we just don't know about yet. Even though it could also be cosmic. 2.5 stars. Let me write that down. We got 2.5. Okay, haven't read, but I love pregnancy, birth, motherhood related books, so I'll definitely be picking it up. I just find it all so fascinating. I typically like that as well. Like that kind of trope. I've never given birth, but I'm a stepmom. And I've been around, she's just turned 8. I've been around since she was born. So it's like, I do feel like I can relate to a lot of the motherhood stuff. But yeah, I feel like Jan, maybe that was a part that you didn't relate.
Yeah, I'm very anti wanting kids ever. So that's just me.
What's weird for me is like I think like in my like physical life for whatever reason, like I would love to experience, it's weird, and this might be weird to say, but I stand by it because I think that the like going through pregnancy would be a very cool thing just to like experience it, like your body changing. I think it would be cool, but I still am very much like we might want kids one day sort of vibe. Yeah. I love especially horror books. Or like weird lit fic books that talk about motherhood, like Night Bitch by Rachel Yoder. It's like one of my favorite books ever. Like
Me too. I love that.
It's so good.
I'm literally the opposite. I'm like the thought of being pregnant. Well, I haven't read Night Bitch.
Well, no, but what I was gonna say is like reading pregnancy is not my favorite thing, and I don't know why. It doesn't make sense. Like make it make sense. I can't. But like it's a very different thing. I think because motherhood is the part that sort of like evades and like scares me in a way, you know? So it's like I like to read and see other experiences about it and the weird things. I think it's fun.
My body just would not be able to handle it because I have arthritis. If you didn't know, I talk about it all the fucking time. But like, I have to be off my meds for 3 months. Like, even if I wanted kids, I would not want to go through that pain. Absolutely not. Like,
girl, trust me. Like, I would not want to either. And I've thought about that. I was always the person who was like, never kids. And I'm the baby in my family, so I never was around kids. I felt awkward about it. Now, I'm a stepmom to an 8-year-old, and I work with kids every day. So it's like I'm wild. It's crazy how like that can change over time though too. Like you just never know. And like I love that I couldn't do it either. No caffeine, none of the other things. And I just know I would be that person who like was just in pain for the entire time and miserable. I would not be that cute, perky, pregnant lady that's like, I'm so glowing and beautiful. Like, no.
I wanted kids till I was like 16. And then one of my managers at Tilly's when I worked retail was like, I don't want kids. And I was like, oh, it's an option. And then I never
wanted That's allowed?
That's crazy.
Yeah, right? So, like, talking about pregnancy, I know Sid knows this, but, like, it gives me physical cramps. Like, right now, I'm cramping.
Oh, no!
Like, I'm sweating and cramping.
Oh, this is my husband. Why are you... My husband's watching this, apparently.
That's funny.
He's not here right now. He's at my mother-in-law's house right now. He likes to give me my space for my live show, which I respect. Yes.
Cute. Caleb's making right now.
I've given birth twice, and I like being pregnant the first time. The second time, not so much. Birth sucks, but it's an experience. Glad I won't be doing it again. Yeah. Well, I don't want to get into like political stuff, but I live in Texas. And I'm 37. And so like literally the course of my life has changed because of political things. Because I would not want to try right now and risk my own life to save a fetus.
Absolutely.
So I will not be having a child. But that is just, the state of the world. Anyway, why am I making it political? I'm sorry.
Everything is.
It's your channel.
Let's talk about the Unmothers. Let's talk about this. So what did you guys think about the writing style? I've never read from this author before. And I think this is like the first one of her books that was even remotely kind of in the horror realm or mystery realm. It seems like she has written fantasy and stuff in the past, which is interesting.
I'm going to look her up.
I haven't looked into the author since reading it. So that's actually really exciting to hear because I will read other things from her. I personally... Okay, let me just preface everything I say by I almost didn't even read this book because I was concerned about like the trigger warnings for the animal cruelty and things like that. Like I'm a huge softie with animals. This was okay. My thing is I thought there was going to be if there is on-page animal abuse, I literally will not. I cannot. Like I start to like feel tears even just like thinking about it. Like I hate it. But this where it's like if it's like describing the aftermath of something like this was like obviously it's not pleasant, but like it's fine. So prefacing by that in conjunction with I had such low expectations because I was so like concerned and scared going into it.
Yeah.
So when I was like, even just like, I don't know, like 25 or 50 pages in, I was like, oh, I'm enjoying the writing immediately. I liked how she was like sort of like short and punchy. Like it's not flowery. It's like chapters are short. I liked how she described things, and I especially appreciated. I'm sure we'll get into like characters more later, but like when she was even giving us like the point of view from like the addict, like this was the most like one of the most accurate depictions of like an addict and addict behavior and thought process that I've read. And I think that it takes, I don't know, like some sort of I don't like life experience, but also like some sort of skill to like write it in a way that isn't annoying. I thought her writing was pretty good. I really liked it.
Okay, Jan, I'm interested to hear your opinion. Oh, sorry, my dogs are getting mouthy. What did you think of the writing? And then I'll talk about how I felt about it.
I did not like the writing. It was very redundant for me. Just like, when they go like up, 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 and pushing and pushing and pushing and down, down, down. I don't like that. Unless it's pitched as like a poetic lyrical book like Open Water or I mean, a Dowry of Blood doesn't do it, but like things like that, then yeah, cool, make it rhythmic, whatever. But like in this, it was just like distracting to me. I was like, why are you trying so hard? And then Marshall annoyed the fuck out of me. I couldn't do it. And I made it 160 something pages in. And yeah, there were way too many POVs. I think I saw a review that said there were 10. Like, why do we need 10? Why did we need a Brittany chapter? I don't know if she becomes more relevant later on, but like, why? And like, I don't know. I love a multi-POV if it's done well. And I don't think every POV was necessary in this. Like, I think Jason, but Marshall and Roswell, maybe like 4 max. We did not need 10. But yeah, that's just me. Again, I didn't finish it, so I don't know.
I actually like, I don't understand what you mean by the first thing you said, the up. What do you mean?
I don't either.
I circled like a few. Hold on, I just saw one. Did you guys read it physically or audibly?
Yeah.
I did both.
Yeah, same. I like listened and read.
Oh, where did it go? Hold on, I have my dislike tabs. Like, sorry, I'm like, I can't freaking find it. Oh, on chapter 11, page 108, like close to the top of the page, it says, crushed it and snorted it anyway, relieved to feel it lift him up to safety and then drop him again. That just happened. Like I get what she was trying to do.
So you meant literally up. Like,
yeah, like verbiage. Yes. So she did that a lot. Like, just
like
I never noticed it.
Yeah,
I never noticed.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
like,
interesting.
Its eyes were very, very blue, and then there was one that was like pushing and pushing and pushing. And,
okay.
Yeah. So just that was so. Yeah,
it's interesting to me, like because I didn't notice any of that. Like, I didn't think of that.
Maybe it's because I don't visualize things. Because this has happened before where I notice words more and how things are written. Because I'm a words gal, I'm not a visual gal. So like I pay attention to how things are written more versus like what I'm seeing in my head because I don't see shit in my head. So
do you read physically more? Is that your like regular?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like an audio girly, and it's rare that I actually have the book. But I understand, like, having listened to so many books via audio, like the drawbacks and the kind of the perks to having audio, but like not having looked at the words as often. It's weird because I do visualize it, but also I am a word freak too. Like, if there's certain words that an author uses, like, word choice for me is a big deal.
A lot of authors have like a favorite word. Like, I remember one of V.E. Schwab's books said palimpsest like every other chapter. I was like, this is not a word that you can just throw out willy-nilly, you know?
And it's also different if you're like binging it, or, you know, if you're picking it up, you know, if they use the same word several times and you're reading it in one sitting, it's a lot more obvious than it is if you're like picking it up, you know, throughout the week.
Right.
For me, when it came to her writing style, I really appreciated it. It kind of like, it felt like the way she described things was very intentional. And I really liked the pictures that she was creating for me. I do think, though, that like the consequence of this type of writing style is that the pacing tends to slow down a little bit. So I do think that was the case with this one. Like, the pacing was a little bit slower because of that more intricate writing style. And I wouldn't call it flowery, but she was very purposeful in her word choice and like how she wanted to describe a situation.
Yeah, I feel like she was like not overly descriptive, but I honestly, I appreciate that you said intentional, because I didn't know how to voice it, but there were multiple times that there would be just a situation that she would be describing, and I would be like, I can literally see that.
Yeah. But it was like in the beginning, I felt that way, like literally page 12, when she's talking about the room being like instantly claustrophobic, like that little paragraph. I was like, damn, that's relatable. Like, I don't know why, but I just like, I felt exactly like that before. So I get that. But as it went on, I was like, Okay. But I also love slow horror, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I also loved
Was it intermezzo?
Intermezzo.
Intermezzo? Was that part of this?
Maybe just a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
But I did like that it was like yeehaw, but make it horror. Like she is that horse girly, Leslie J.
Yeah.
She loved horses. Like you can just tell she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, I saw a review that said this was, oh gosh, what did it say? Some kind of horror for the horse girlies.
Yeah.
I saw that one too.
Yeah. And then I saw that and then I got scared because I was like, I don't want the horses to get hurt. Like Spirit is my girl or my guy.
Spirit. I gotta rewatch.
It's funny, Jan, that you brought up the Brittany chapter because I think there is only one Brittany chapter.
There is. And I found it. Yeah.
And that was like my favorite chapter of this book.
I was literally going to say, like, I felt like that chapter was so important.
Yes.
Oh, there's another one. Chapter 21 is also Brittany. I thought I saw.
Oh, is it? Okay. But I was talking about 13.
Yeah, me too.
On page 122. Yeah, there are so many, like, I'd like to actually read a couple of quotes from that chapter because I thought it was like this chapter really like nailed down the whole like the social commentary of this about women. Like this really spoke volumes about that, and that's why I love this. Because Brittany, I guess we're still in like it's 7:30. Should we just I'm just gonna say we're gonna go into spoilers now because I don't know. I don't want anyone to get spoiled that doesn't want to get spoiled. Bop it. Missed it.
I did like that quote.
Was that a quote?
Like the hole between her legs. No, this quote.
Oh, don't read it.
That one? Oh, yeah, that one. So I did like, I just didn't think I don't know. Could have been from anyone else, I guess.
See, my part, like, let me know when I can do a spoiler. Can I do a spoiler?
Yeah, we can do spoilers.
Because like the only thing about Brittany's chapter that I actually liked was when like at the end, like on 124, like I didn't have tabs with me and I just dog-eared the fuck out of this book. Like I have dog ears on so many pages. But it was literally just when she was like, I'm gonna tell the forest about you. And it was like that was the first time where I was like, oh, things are gonna get kind of weird. And like obviously that's foreshadowing to like the folklore that's going on. And so I think like even the other Brittany chapter, I feel like, I don't know, that was kind of stupid, but this one, I feel like it was sort of super important to just lay the foundation of like, okay, so girls and the forest are like related in some way.
They're tight.
They're
like,
tight.
The girls, oh my goodness. The girls pretty much own the forest at the end of the story. And like, and I know like you didn't get to that part, but like it did, like the end of it was the most confusing, but also it was pretty satisfying because there was this like practical magic moment.
Where it was witchy.
All the moms in the phone tree, were like, come together, put your brooms handles together. And they were like, we're going to make this shit right. We're going to make it right.
I did try to skim the end and I saw the word horsewoman and I was like, okay, maybe it does get weird, but I really don't care. I don't care enough to continue.
I mean, I respect that. I totally respect that.
I'd be interested to hear what horsewoman was all about.
I don't recall that specifically. I don't know what that was. Which just to quote that line, see, I highlighted it from Brittany's chapter. I did all in yellow, and Sydney, you kind of inspired me because I watched one of your videos and you talked about how like one of your books, you're like, I tabbed that this was in the old tabbing days and they were like, and I was like, I don't know the right way to tab. So like, I was like, let me make sure when I'm tabbing this, I put it in more so it's pretty. I don't know what's right and wrong. I'm just doing my best over here. I got to figure out the tabbing because, like I said, I'm an audio girl.
That's how mine looked. When I looked the city we became, oh my God, I was like, I need to redo this.
Like, what? Now I keep it like this. I got to remember where I came from.
I know, that's what I was saying. I was like, it's sentimental now. I can't change it.
So is the right way to do it to put it in farther so it only sticks out a little?
I don't think that there is like a wrong or right way. It's really just what you feel like. But I feel like it's more like easy to handle the book if they're like hardly poking out.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so sorry, I got off track there. So yeah, you said, I want to just read this quote real quick. You mentioned the part where she says, "I'll tell the forest about you." So she's threatening this guy. She's like, "I will tell the forest about you." And then it says, she could barely hear herself. How dare she? How dare she speak up and make herself big again? Crawl out of the mushrooms and pine needles and stare up at the hunting owl. The violence would come now, she was sure of it. But something was building in her, a wave. It was a wave made of fury that wasn't just hers. I love that. See, like, this
I know. I love it.
I love. Because she's talking about like, she's talking about like, how dare she like claim her space. Denver? Yeah. No, sir. No. Oh my goodness. Come here, buddy.
He's got big paws.
Come here. You want to say hi? Here's my baby.
Oh my God, hi.
Oh, the ears. Hi. I was expecting a much bigger dog with that bark.
I've got two. There's two of them.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, but the fact that she's like, how dare she like speak her piece? How dare she claim, you know, her space? And then it goes into like how she's like, okay, now the violence is going to come because that's what we are programmed to believe because of patriarchy, because of the world that we've grown up in. You know what I mean? And then, but she said there was a wave building up within her made of fury that was not just hers. And I think that's the coolest thing about this whole book is that this whole folklore, like this whole thing with the forest and the night and the horses and all of that, it's really like, when it comes down to it, it's something real that was made from trauma, that was made from fear, that was made from everything that these women had to go through when they were touched, when they, you know, did not give consent to be touched, when they were, you know, going through a pregnancy, carrying a pregnancy, when they were uncomfortable, when they were throwing up, when they were all of these things that they were experiencing against their own will without even like giving consent to do it. Throughout all of that was building something and mounting to something and creating something. And it's like the energy, like this energy. And so I feel like that's where I'm in, you know, because it's not necessarily religion. It's not necessarily like supernatural, but it's like kind of everything and all of it all together all at once. It's like energy is being created or moved around to create this force. And that force it's got, you know, it's coming with a vengeance. And so that's what I liked about this. Although I will say in general, we didn't even tell our ratings yet. Maybe we should do that. Denver, I need you to chill, bro. I need you to chill. I don't know what he's hearing, but he's my anxious one. So like, I'll tell you my thoughts. I gave this 3.5 stars. I think I really like this author. I like how she's writing. I love how she put all of the different things together in this and brought it around full circle in the end. And in the end, it's very much like we're all coming together. Like all of the women have each other's back. All the horses have each other's backs. And I think there is so much potential in this. And I would definitely read from this author again. I don't think this is the one, but I really, really liked what she was doing with it. And I think with just a little bit of tweaking here and there, like she has the potential to be a really awesome author. So 3.5 for me. Sid, what are you giving this?
So I'm kind of stuck because like for whatever, like the first time, like even at the beginning of this, when you first held up the book, like this is the book, I saw the cover and I was just like, oh, that's my girl. I was like, I got excited when I saw it. Like, I don't know. Like, I know that there are some things that I like, not perfect, obviously. So I think like logically, I'm going to give it a solid 4. I think out of enjoyment, sometimes like it creeps up to a 4.5, which is absolutely crazy to me because I didn't expect it. And I didn't think that, like, I don't know. But I would say I would say a solid 4, but like a good 4. That's how I feel. I don't know.
All right, cool. That sounds great.
You weren't gonna read it. Imagine if you didn't read it.
Imagine if I didn't read it. No, I would be so sad because I honestly, like, I loved a lot. I loved a lot about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Jan, if I guess you're not going to rate it because you didn't finish it, but I think it's safe to say like you weren't connecting it with it. So like, what do you think about this? Like, just wasn't right for you. For anyone who maybe has your reading tastes and is saying like, am I going to jive with this? Like, what was it for you that didn't work?
Just, I think I talked about most of the stuff that didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I just like, I stopped as if I were to rate this, I would give it a 2 because I didn't like hate it. Like there's not like problematic shit in it, you know, like, and there were some quotes that that resonated with me, but I stopped as soon as she started talking about, as soon as Marshall started talking about how she didn't have that baby because Joseph's my boyfriend's name too. And I was like, oh my God, he died. But anyway.
The husband, Marshall's husband that passed. Yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as she said that on page 161, 162.
You were like, it's already personal.
I was like, I know she's probably going to keep talking about this baby she didn't have. And I was like, I can't get myself to read it. Again, intermezzo might have been a little distraction there, but yeah, not that I'm far into it. I'm only 2 chapters into it, but yeah, the excitement there.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think that this is something that I would ever have recommended to you. I don't think that this is one that I would ever think that you would enjoy because, and I think why it's not a 5 for me. Okay. This is, I think why it's not a 5 is I like, I was kind of like pleasantly surprised that it wasn't so horror with the animals. So like I was like appreciative of that.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, I know that Jan had mentioned, at least in our chat, that like it wasn't really horror. It was more like mystery thriller. I love the mystery. I do think that it was like I said earlier, like it's sort of like light horror because like there were some like spooky parts.
It wasn't traditionally horror. I think the horror was definitely, obviously, it's more like social horror, which is fine, which I like, but not this theme of social horror.
Yes, like, exactly.
You know, Get Out is my favorite.
I get that.
Movie. So like, I love social horror, but yeah, so yeah, it's like more real life horror. But yeah, the way it read was more mystery because it was from the POV of an investigator, essentially. Yeah, so
yeah, it did kind of have that like Chris, like I was thinking of it as crime fiction, but then I had to keep reminding myself, oh no, she's not a police officer, she's a journalist. Yeah. But really, when it comes down to it, they're serving the same function as far as like the story goes.
Different vibe, but yes.
There was a POV from the cop though, right? If I recall.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name. Jason. Was it Jason?
It was Jason.
Okay. I couldn't remember if Jason even was a cop or if he was just another like farm hand.
No, he was a cop, but I mean that's part of the like charm of this book is that it's so small town that like
I did like that.
Everyone knows everybody, everyone hates everybody, or you know, that sort of thing. Like that was another thing that I liked too, was just the small town vibes. That was like we protect our own sort of thing.
I do love a small town.
Oh, and the social commentary on just like addiction in general. Like I felt like that was done pretty well. Never mind. Yeah, go ahead. I promise it doesn't matter. ADD, I promise it doesn't matter.
Well, I do like there were definitely themes of addiction. There were themes of like generational trauma because because of how small town this was, it seems like these people like kind of invented their own religion, or that's how kind of like how they describe how it became to be. Because they were so isolated that they like clung on to these things. And I think that is generally like how folklore and like things like that do start. But yeah, it was that we touch on the grief horror as well. So there's addiction, there's grief horror, there's generational trauma, and maybe not even grief horror, but just like themes of grief because Marshall has lost her husband. As far as that was concerned, I did feel like I wanted something at the end that brought that all back together a little more than it did. But like the connection to Joseph and the connection to her husband. But there were some moments in there where she talks about her husband, and I just was like, oh my God, like I have not even experienced this, and I feel like I can relate to it.
Like when he was in the hospital?
When she was talking about, there was a moment where she's talking about how it was totally unrelated. She was not even thinking about her husband, but, oh, here it is actually. Page 52, when they're discovering the bodies. And as she ran, Marshall was vaguely aware of a feeling in her chest, like she'd been hollowed out by a melon baller. It wasn't pain exactly, but it was the sense that there was nothing where there should be had once been something important. She named that feeling Joseph, but the absence was her. It was the feeling that terrified her, not the deaths, but the way they echoed in that cavity. So like the way she's talking about grief, I was just like, oh my gosh, like I've never really felt a loss like that before, and I'm terrified too, but like just even her description of it makes me just like even more afraid of ever feeling that. That like emptiness, that sense of hollowness and feeling like there should have been something there, or there used to have been something there. Like I just felt like she really did a great job of explaining that feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
I'm dying at Jesse's comment. Horror. I think I said that in my vlog, or at least I thought it actually. That's so funny.
Horror. Yeah, like folk horror.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. What else? Like the atmosphere was really interesting though. Like I felt like there was definitely that small town, almost like unsuspecting, like you feel like there should be a level of safety here, but then when the fog starts to rise, it's like this ominous thing. So it is kind of like that lurking haunting.
And those were the times that I felt like it could have been more horror leaned. Like they could have, like she could have done more with it. That's why, like those times like that is like, I wanted it to go a little bit further.
So at the end, what ends up happening, Jan, is that they all get together, and turns out that Emma was the one that was the mother to Roz's kid.
Right.
Roz.
I hated that. I hated that was, I literally wrote, I was like, that's it. I was waiting for the horse to give birth to this human, and that's it. It wasn't even.
There's more.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, because there's the ritual thing.
Yeah, so there's this there's a ritual.
It's not just that.
The girls, like, as they're growing up, like somehow they just know that if they are pregnant, they can go to this like place in the woods and perform a ritual sacrifice where they have to sacrifice a human, and the thing in the woods takes it, and then the horses take on the pregnancy. They take on the pain and all of the bad parts of giving birth for the women, and they give birth to the child. And then that's basically it. Like the thing in the forest made it happen, and it's fed, and then the woman doesn't have to go through the pregnancy. It's like the horses are taking that for them, like helping the women.
Like the horse is actually who's giving birth.
Okay.
Yeah, and
that's cool.
And when the horse actually gives birth, and there's like something weird, maybe I don't like entirely understand or remember, but if you leave the newborn horse child, human baby, by the morning, it'll actually be a horse. And so there is a specific scene where Marshall like sees a horse through the fence, and it like has these really human eyes, and it's like, that was probably a child. But if like, I know, super.
Oh my God, I didn't put that together until this moment.
Oh my God, no, when that happened, I was like, oh my God, that's a human. Super weird.
Wow.
But
I didn't
if
think about that.
like the horse child human baby is like I don't know, like picked up or taken care of before the morning, it would like be a child. Like
It'll stay a baby.
It'll stay a baby.
And so when Roz went and picked up Philip, he
Yeah.
kept the baby. Emma just wanted him to be done with it, let it turn into a horse, run away, start over.
But
And
Roz
then there's
couldn't.
this whole thing with John Daly, which isn't John Daly a golfer? Like, or am I mixing that up with somebody else?
The name sounds so familiar to me. You're not wrong. There's something.
What's the drink that's like half lemonade, half iced
Arnold
tea?
Palmer.
You're right. That's Arnold. Wait, no, I think John Daly is Arnold Palmer with liquor.
It does say golfer, professional golfer. I had no idea.
I don't know. I think John Daly is an Arnold Palmer with liquor.
John Daly drink is a cocktail. Perfect combination of natural tea, fruit juice, and our premium good lemonade. Oh yeah, an alcoholic version of the Arnold Palmer.
That's so funny.
Look at you.
Wow, like cackling.
That's so funny. No, that was really funny.
So I was thinking about that the whole time. And I was like, John Daly, like why that name?
I mean, it was a very milquetoast name for like right next to like Roswell and all of these Marshall. I don't know, Marshall's kind of normal too, but
Oh my god.
Well, but for a woman that was confusing me too because it's her last name.
Yeah, and she's not a cop. That's the thing. So that was another thing that kept like mixing it up for me. I was like,
I couldn't even tell you what her first name is. I don't even remember.
It's like Carrie or Corey or Candace or something. I thought
it was Carolyn. But
Carolyn.
Candy.
Yeah. She shoot, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
Literally the first word. Carolyn Marshall.
Oh.
Arnold Palmer. John Daly.
Oh, John Daly. So he is the big bad in the story. He is like this guy who thinks he's in charge of this town because he runs the drugs. Like everyone in this town is like poor and addicted, and he runs the drugs. And so he really has most people under his thumb and kind of does what he wants. And he is the one that in the end, he gets what he has coming, which is nice. He is also Roz's grandpa. And and his mom's dad. And Agatha, like, I don't know if we needed Agatha's point of view. I think we could have done without that. I think we could have done without a lot, even Jason's point of view, though I feel like Jason's point of view was because he was the only Black man in town. So we were getting the social commentary with that. And I feel like Jason also might have been gay because I felt like his hurt for Aaron was very deep when Aaron got outed. But I just felt like we didn't delve enough into that to have it be meaningful. Like she needed more from that if we were going to do that.
Yeah. Since we didn't get a point of view, since we did get a point of view for him, we should have a few more answers, I feel like. But yeah.
And then at the end, like we got the whole like 1 year later, and it's clear that all the women at this point have come together and they kind of patrol the woods looking for young girls who are going there to make that sacrifice and to try to help guide them and be their like sage, like, let me show you the way type of thing. So I really liked that. And the fact that Marshall has obviously moved on and is doing well. So we get that satisfying ending, especially after they kill John Daly and they like suck the life from him and leave him with the branch through the body and all of that. But yeah, just some of the point of views, like Jan was saying, really, I felt like it was really chaotic at times. But I will say I think twice we got a point of view from the horses, which was really cool. We got the point of view at the end from the horses. And that was just like the horses knew about this thing in the forest and they felt it and it was there. They weren't threatened, but they lived with it and they intermingled together. And like it just kind of makes you feel like this is all one symbiotic place. And it will need the thing in the forest. It will continue to need sacrifices, but not right now. For right now, it's sated and everybody is happy. And the women are now in control. That was the main takeaway at the end for me, was that like the women now have realized that, hey, with this force, whatever this is, and with the horses and the thing in the woods, we now have the majority. We now have the power. So like, we're not playing your game anymore. We're not doing it your way. Now it's going to be our way. And so I really loved that. Like, that was how she ended it and like brought it all together, like with that empowerment. And that was the same thing I loved about Night Bitch, was that the end of the book, I was like, yes, you know what I mean? Just like wanting to like howl at the moon.
Literally.
Okay, so any thoughts on that y'all want to wrap up as far as like how it ended and like what happened?
I had a shower thought before this, and because I was thinking about the horse's point of view and how it is similar to there is, you know, Spells for Forgetting by Adrian.
I knew you were gonna say that. I thought about that too.
It's literally one of my favorite books, like fucking ever. And when there was a point of view, I won't spoil anything, but when there
Who's the author?
Adrian Young.
Okay.
She's literally an auto-buy now for me, but there is a point, one chapter towards the end that we literally get a point of view from the island itself. Like, it is like literally titled The Island, and there's like, the island is supposed to have like this magical thing. So the island was like an entity that we got a point of view from, and that chapter in and of itself was fucking wild, but like it made me feel like that's what I wanted from the horse chapter. And I'm really happy that you just did that little monologue, because now I feel like I appreciate that chapter even more, because I don't know, maybe I was just like tired when I read that chapter. But like, it didn't hit me the way I wanted it to hit me. But now, like, I appreciate it a little bit more. But I was just gonna say, like, if you like that vibe of like the horse chapter and then like the women chapter, it's like very kind of similar to Spells for Forgetting. And
okay, well, now I'm interested. I'll have to look that up. Spells for Forgetting.
That one is also similar in like the slowness of like the pacing of it.
Okay.
So
okay,
it's a slow burn mystery thriller. There's my favorite 1-star review for that book. Wait. Yeah, no, I can say it. It's not a spoiler. My favorite 1-star review of that book is, "This is a lot of fuss just for some apples." It's so funny, but we can move on.
All right, nice. Okay, well, let's see. Let's try to wrap this up a little bit. It's 8:00 right now. Let's talk about some comp titles. Do you guys have anything that you would compare this to if they liked this, or if they didn't like this, maybe they would like something else? It could be movies, books, TV shows, whatever.
Done and Dusted by Lila.
Which one?
Done and Dusted. The horse girlies.
Oh, what? I don't know that one. What is it?
It's just a cowboy romance that blew up all the. Well, it didn't. Flawless kind of did that, but yeah, it's just a cowboy romance. I'm just kidding. Gotcha. But yeah, I was like, oh my god, this is like Done and Dusted, but make it horror. But no, I don't know why I thought of Midsummer, but that's just because folk horror. But
yeah, I can see that.
Literally, there's a movie called Horse Girl by A24 that is like, holy shit, it is stunning.
I haven't watched that.
It's, for me, the ending was a little bit unsatisfying, but like the entire movie, like, it was one of those that like I planned on doing work while Caleb and I watched it, and then a literal like over an hour into the movie, I realized I hadn't moved. Like, it was so good, and no one knows about it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch that too. What's it called? Horse Girl?
Horse Girl. On A24, because I don't know if there's more Horse Girl movies. There probably is. Yeah, there probably are. Even just the trailer, like, please tell me you'll watch the trailer. That's all I ask of people. Watch the trailer.
I literally put it on a Patreon poll for a movie night, and it didn't win, and I was kind of sad. But I forgot about it after that. I love A24.
I think you'd like it. It's sort of sci-fi too. I mean, so like Elizabeth would like it. I know for sure. But I think you'd like it too, Jan. I mean,
I can watch sci-fi.
Yeah.
Reading is different. Like I really like Nope by Jordan Peele.
Then you'd like Horse Girl.
Okay. Deal. Anyway.
Interesting. Okay, cool. All right. I'm gonna mention a couple that I feel like aren't everything okay over there?
No.
Do you need help?
No, we're good. We're good. You're good.
Jackal is one by Erin E. Adams.
Oh, I think Jan loves that book.
Do you love this book, Jan?
I gave it a 4. I'm sorry. This chaos just ensued. Yes, I gave it a 4. It was really, I agree.
This one does the same thing for me, where it's like that kind of in between supernatural and religious. And it's like, what is it? Like, what do you believe? What is really happening? And it gives that like, is there just more to this world that we don't know about yet kind of vibe. Yeah. And I really love the writing in this too. And then another one that I was thinking of that kind of has that folk horror situation is The Watchers by A.M. Shine.
Oh yeah.
That one's also, I think, based on like Scandinavian folk horror or something.
Do you know what this one is based on?
What's that?
Do you know what folklore this is based on?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't. I don't know if it was or if it was just like
made up.
Yeah. I'm not sure. But The Watchers is really good too. That one's about like these things in the woods and we don't really know what they are. And a girl is coming to deliver a bird and she gets trapped and she ends up in this lone building in the middle of the woods being watched by these things in the woods called The Watchers.
Have you seen the movie?
It is a movie that came out directed by, I still need to fact check this, but I think it's M. Night Shyamalan's daughter.
Oh.
Because at first I thought it was M. Night Shyamalan, but it's not. It's someone related to him. I think his daughter.
I love the movie more than the book, actually.
Oh yeah, I liked the movie a lot too, and I watched it right after I read it, so I kind of get them mixed up though. So I'm like, it's all one to me at this point.
Yeah.
But there is a sequel coming out. I think next month.
A sequel?
To The Watchers called Stay in the Light, I think it's called.
I did see that, yeah. People always think The Creeper, because they're so like, the covers are so similar. But Creeper is just like a whole different story, I think, right? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think that's the same author.
It's the same author, but I think...
Wait,
I don't think
it's... Creeper is?
The Creeper. I think it's just regular. Yeah, by A.M.
A.M. Shine?
Yeah, A.M. Shine.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, this one is The Watcher. It's going to be The Watchers too. Let's see. Okay, y'all, what else? What do you have coming up? Just tell us about, like, are you working anything for spooky season? Do you have a book club? Like, what's going on with y'all? Jan, do you want to start?
Okay. I do have a book club. I switched it to spoiler-filled vlogs instead of live shows because I stopped doing live shows. And then Patreon, it's called The Lair. We're vampire themed.
Nice.
I am gonna do a collab with Sid next month. We're gonna do our Do Your Worst thing. So there's that. Well, no pressure if you weren't planning on doing a video. But I'm gonna do a video on Sid. My next vlog is gonna be a 12-hour readathon.
Okay.
But I think my book haul is going up first. But yeah, that's all.
And then just for anyone watching, all of their links and everything are linked in the description down below. So if you want to go find my friends, go check them out, go support them. Sid, what about you? What do you have going on?
I also have a book club. It's over in my Patreon. It is called The Greenhouse. It's sort of greenhouse themed, I suppose, like bookworms, wildflower, years, compost, wildflower ecosystem. Super cute. Love it a lot. I do like exclusive like extension vlogs over there and like spoilery vlogs for the book club picks. And this next on Sunday, I have like one of my favorite videos that I do is like my spin the bottle TBRs. And this on Sunday is going to be like a massive version of it, like a mega spin the bottle TBR, because I'm doing just like a fall TBR with like October and November. So I spend more times. It's a little bit chaotic. But other than that, I mean, I am doing I hosted a Trova trip this year to Bali, and next year I'm going to host another one to Greece. So if anyone ever wants to go to Greece and hang out with a bunch of cute bookworms, that's next year in September. That trip goes live tomorrow. So I'm super excited about it.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you guys again so much for joining me and you know, sharing your time and your thoughts and your opinions and all of that. I really appreciate it. Next month, I have not announced this yet, but I'm probably going to post it sometime tomorrow. We're going to be reading Big Swiss by Jen Began. I hope that's how you say her last name. And this one I think is more lit fic. It's about this woman who is she does transcribing for a sex therapist, a sex coach. And then she becomes infatuated with one of his clients who she calls Big Swiss. And she meets the person in real life, knowing all of their intimate details, and like begins this like relationship with them without them knowing that she knows who they are. And I think it's going to be super unhinged. And so I'm excited for this one. I am going to give you all more details on that on Instagram. So check that out. I will be posting that shortly. I'm leaving in, let's see, 8 hours for Boston. I'm getting on a plane at 4. I'm leaving at 4 in the morning to go to Boston. So I'm excited for that. And I'm excited for next month. And I think we should leave it at that. Oh, we didn't even say, oh my gosh, I didn't do if it's been inducted or not.
I wasn't sure if you do that live or not. I was wondering.
So I did the math with everyone that in the comments is 2.87. And then I gave this 3.5. And then Sid gave this 4. So we're going to do 2.87 plus 3.5 plus 4 equals divided by 3 is 3.45. So the math is mathing, and it has officially been inducted into the Midnight Society. Congratulations, Leslie Anderson.
Oh, my hype button. I have a hype button that makes that exact sound.
Oh my God, I love it.
I'm too lazy to grab it.
I don't know why that's like how I'm like reinforcing things lately. It's just
I love it.
No, I did it so often in my vlogs. I was like, I need this hype button, and then someone gifted it to me. I was like,
oh, nice. So yes, we are going to say this has been inducted into the Midnight Society Book Club. Wonderful, wonderful. And again, ladies, thank you for your time, for your patience, for all of the things. Go follow these ladies if you have not followed them already. And that's going to be it, y'all. Don't forget that life is short. So read Riley. Cheers to everyone. Cheers, cheers.
Thanks for having us.
Months. Goodbye, my friends.